Hallo und herzlich willkommen zu einer neuen Folge Let's Play Final Fantasy XI mit Elweb. Ich stehe hier vor dem Eingang von Windurst, weil wenn ich da jetzt reingehe, triggert bereits die Quest. Na komm. Ja. Lekho, you're finally back. And Elweb too. How fare you, Miss Roma? I hope you don't mind me borrowing Elweb for just a while longer. And where have you two been, eh? Now looks here. How dare you go off gallivanting like that, leaving poor Miqote behind? You're looking well for someone who has just recently collapsed from starvation. A speedy recovery made possible because of you, to be sure. Lekho, Elweb is one of our best. It's one thing to be friendly with her, but if you go planting any strange ideas in her head, there'll be hell to pay, understood? Not that I have a mind to do anything of the sort, but what happened to trusting in your fellow Mithra? I love to say here and be on the receiving end of more goodwill preaching, but my presence is required elsewhere. Now if you'll excuse me. Going to see the warlord? I've been summoned myself. A delightful coincidence, I must say. It's much more fun being scolded en masse. I appreciate your attendance on such short notice. Huh? That person with you? I thought you wouldn't mind an extra guest, especially one who left such a positive impression on you the other day. Besides, I have reason to believe that Elweb is the same as us. A poor turnout for a strategy meeting, isn't it? Where are the rest of the unit leaders? The last battle exacted a heavy toll. Those who survived unwounded have not had the luxury of rest, and are either back on active duty or overseeing the training of new additions to our forces. Even with Minister Zonpa-Zipper's guardians included in the equation, our numbers are meager at best. If things are left as they stand, our armies will waste away into nothingness, even without external urging. But the enemy we face cares not for the waiting game. Enter. This is Noah Garnbo, leader of the cheetah volunteers newly arrived from Old Syria. She and the cheetahs will be partaking in the upcoming operation with the Cobra unit. That's a shiny new rifle you have there. Always a pleasure to meet a man who knows his firearms. This here is the latest model, fresh out of our organ, truly a fire-breathing beast. The Ghanaian economy is evidently experiencing a bubble period. Windurst, on the other hand, do we have the financial means to recruit shipload after shipload of mercenaries? The debt we owe to the High Matriarchs must be astronomical. I like frisky, but the kitty here is frisky to a point of irritating. Easy here, boss. She's probably just the designated tour guide during our stay. No need to get worked up. Tour guide, huh? You sure have a big mouth for a small fry. I am pleased to see that the Mithran welcoming tradition hasn't been lost to those outside the motherland. Now, what say you and I get real acquainted? Seeing how we are now introduced, let's commence the briefing, shall we? Roma and Naho. You two units are to head to the Argonoi front. Our agents have reported movements by the seizable enemy force first sighted at the Marifertot Mountains. The beastmen are headed west towards Saruman campaign, and during their advance have been observed absorbing units previously deployed throughout Argonoi. Has the strategic importance of the Galech citadel been exposed? Or is the Shadowlord finally mobilizing his forces to lay siege to Juno? Our intelligence favors the possibility of the latter. Gigas catapulters and armored division quadraf from the bulk of their assault force. So they have turned their attention to Juno. Those at the Allied headquarters are aware of the encroaching threat and are deeply perturbed, to say the least. They bid us double our contribution of the defense of Juno's eastern wall. Quite an unsympathetic request to put forth to an impoverished nation with barely enough soldiers to man its own gates. Yeah, the sorry bunch at headquarters lazing in their Kashilang chairs, surrounding by Juno's thick walls. They haven't the slightest idea of the situation we're in. It is the Allied War Council you so despise that provide us with the funding required to recruit the services of the cheetah volunteers. I much prefer a cheetah army myself. Has a much more menacing ring to it. So, my unit's task is to escort the new arrivals to the eastern wall? Not quite. Lekho, the details if you will. Yours will be a diversionary mission for the purpose of allowing the real reinforcements to reach Juno unscathed. I too will be partaking in this operation. So we're to being the bait, eh? Well, I can't argue against us being more suited to attraction undue attention than a merry band of Tarutaru. You are to do no more than simply draw their attention, not giving chase and no magic. Because any amateurish spell casting would reveal our identity as mere mercenaries to the enemy, right? Correct. This operation will be conducted with Lekho at the helm. I trust there will be no objections? Fine with me. I'll have you know that we cheaters didn't come all the way across the ocean to be bossed around on the battlefield. And I'll have you know that I'll not tolerate your blatant disregard for professionalism jeopardizing the safety of my unit. Now, ladies, as long as the main strategy is abided by, you have free reign over your respective units. And I promise to refrain from excessively imposing leadership during the operation. Now you're talking. The thinly layered eastern wall is one of Juno's few structural weaknesses. The beastmen are certain to concentrate their offensive there. The success of the fortress city's defense against the besiegers relies heavily upon the outcoming of your mission. Much is at stake. Participating units are to regroup at Soromon campaign. One last thing. Please avoid engaging in unnecessary skirmishes with the enemy until the operation is concluded. You're rather slight for a soldier. Wouldn't those wayfish armies of yours feel more at home with a kitchen knife and a sword? You obviously have doubts about my battle's proofs. I'd be more than happy to personally convince you otherwise. Yeah. Save your strength for the upcoming operation. You'll need it. Are you certain about that woman? Fairly certain. After all, she did bring me a greedy the other day. Intriguing indeed. And with regards to the diversionary operation, I know. I have to fashion them into an army of disciplined, capable soldiers. The matter is in your hands. I trust you need not be reminded of the pivotal role they will play in the coming decisive battle. Naturally. So any word from the motherland as of late? Only that they can provide no further reinforcements and advise us to abandon Vanadil should control of the situation escape our grasp. They have offered asylum for Her Holiness at the capital. You should necessity this dictate. My, what kind of caring soul the High Matriarch is. A shrewd, ambitious wench, that one. Her scheming goes so far as to even have the Star Sibyl in her grasp. Our situation grows more precious still. Precarious still. Okay, dann muss ich jetzt erstmal nach Soromon Campaign. müsste ich auch, glaube ich, schon ein Buch haben. Jawohl. Okay, und dann muss ich bei K9 mit jemandem sprechen. K9. Okay, da irgendwo. Okay, schauen wir mal. Ah, genau. Da bin ich richtig.